Number 40 says select the box in each row to identify if each equation is linear or not linear. So the first one has x in the denominator, so it's not linear. The second one, even though it has an x to the fourth, because there's an x to the fourth on the left and the right hand side of the equal sign, those will subtract away from each other. So all you're left with is just a regular x and a regular y. So this is going to be linear. Anytime you have an exponent, you're going to have a non-linear function. The fourth one just has a plain x and a plain y, so it's linear. And the fifth one has an x squared. And because you have that x squared, it's going to be non-linear. On number 41, the first one is going to be linear. The second one is also linear because once again you have an x to the third on the left and the right, and there's basically just a 0 there, so that's going to be linear. This one is nonlinear because of the x squared. This one is nonlinear because of the x exponent. And the last one is nonlinear because of the x in the denominator. 42. Y equals x is always linear. This is nonlinear because of the x in the denominator. This one is linear because it just has a plain x. This one is not linear because of the square. And the last one is linear because you just have a plain x and plain y. I have three functions. The ones that are linear are D, the second, and the third. You just have a plain x here, and here x is in the numerator, and that's okay. You just can't have x in the denominator. Drag the words on the left to label each equation on the right as linear or nonlinear. So I'm just going to write them in. So this is nonlinear because of the x squared. This is going to be linear. This is going to be nonlinear because x is in the denominator. This is just a point, so technically that's nonlinear. Well, I guess we'll put linear because it's a straight line. And then y equals x cubed is nonlinear. And this is linear because you just have a plain x and a plain y. The graph shows a relationship between the value of a car in dollars and its age in years. So you're comparing the value to the age. Which statements are correct about the relationship? Select all that apply. So it says the value of the car decreases by $5,000 every 3 years. So we need to look at what our rate of change is. So we need to find 2 points. So I have a point here, and then I have another one here. So this is 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So from $20,000 to $15,000 because we went from this area to this area. So that is a drop in $5,000. So that is true. So that means the value of the car can't decrease $5,000 every 2 years because it can't do both. It also says after 10 years the car is worth $5,000. So we're going to look at 10 years, and that's this point right here, and that's less than $5,000, $10,000. So that's not true. But it's not 5,000 either, because 5,000 would be right here, so that's not right. The value of the car when it was brand new was $25,000, and that is true if you look all the way to the initial value or the beginning. So D. And the relationship can be modeled by the linear function y equals negative 2,000x plus 25,000. That's not true. It'd be y equals negative 5,000x plus 25,000. 46, the table displays the amount of money in dollars Colin has after buying a certain number of video games. Each video game costs the same amount. So it says select a number from each drop-down menu to make the following sentence true. So according to the table, Colin initially had $81 before purchasing any video games, and the cost of each game was $11.25. Jasmine is renting an apartment and graphs her apartment costs for rent and security deposits during the first 3 months. So that's what that looks like. So it says choose the statements below that are true about the apartment costs. She does not pay $700 per month in rent. If you look, this is $300, and then after 1 month, we are at $700, and the change from $300 to $700 is $400 a month in rent. After 3 months, Jasmine's total apartment costs are $1,500. That is true. C is also true, and D is true. So the first month's rent includes a security deposit of $300. Notice that the graph starts at $300. That represents the security deposit, and she pays $500 a month in rent, and we just figured that out. 48, the graph of a function is shown on the coordinate plane. Which statements are true? Select all that apply. So we can say that B, the function, is linear between x equals 6 and x equals 10. That is right here to right here. And notice it is a straight line, so therefore we can say it's linear. And also C is true. The function is increasing between x equals 1 and x equals 4 because we're going up, 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 up. And we're going to continue to go up till we get to 4. (49) In the function shown on the graph above, the interval of x is greater than 1 and x is less than 3 has a slope of 0. Remember, things that have a 0 slope are horizontal. And so this is 1 and this is 3. So between 1 and 3, this graph has a 0 slope. And then we have 50. So I have 4 graphs, A, B, C, and D. And the question says, which graph shows a day in which a thunderstorm may have lowered the temperature, which then remained constant until midnight? And the correct answer for that is C. And then which graph shows a day which had 3 increases and 2 decreases in graph temperature? And the answer for that is D. And that's all for today, 26 through 50. So study that tonight, Tuesday, so that you won't have all that studying to do on Thursday. Thank you.